Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and family. Welcome once again to the Abundant Way Ministries Tuesday evening empowerment session.
Good evening. Technical difficulties, but we are here.
We are in the house, in the place to be. Now, listen, you guys know we are in our empowerment series for the year. Last week, we started talking about, we did a whole kickoff on economic empowerment. This week, this month, we're talking about mental empowerment. So the month of February is mental empowerment. Last week, we talked about the power of positive confessions. So we had you doing affirmations and speaking those things that are not as though they already are. This week, today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest. This is one that I've been waiting for a very long time. And I know that you guys are going to be pleasantly pleased and excited. Tonight, we have with us a woman who is an absolute powerhouse entrepreneur. She's an unstoppable trailblazer, and she's a true testament to the power of perseverance. Not only is she a successful businesswoman, she is a pioneer in a male-dominated industry, one of the very few Black female owners of a thriving tree service company. Yep, I said a tree service company. She's also the author of the incredible book, From Failure to Fabulous, where she shares her hard-earned wisdom on pushing past limitations, embracing a positive mindset, and turning struggles into success. Tonight, she's here to drop gems of wisdom on us, to inspire us to think bigger, and to challenge us to renew our minds for future empowerment. So, ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to give me some rumble. I need y'all to lean in tonight. Take notes and get ready to be transformed. Would you put your hands together and help me welcome Doni Jones, aka Doni the Tree Lady. I had to get it out. Here, let me do it.
Unmute her.
To you talk, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, who are they talking about? So I gotta thank you so much. First of all, I want to say it's an honor to be here. And Mr. and Mrs. Davis, I know I can call y'all by y'all first name, Robert and Mrs. Davis, but I'm telling you, I love you all. I love what you all represent. I love the energy that you all put out there. I love the businesses. Speaking of mindset and entrepreneurship, you all have climbed mountains of your own, and you've become successful doing what you do in your own right. And so I commend you all for doing what you do and being an inspiration to me too. So thank you. And thank you for that lovely introduction. I'm just excited to be here. I'm excited to be of service, to do what I can to make a difference. And, you know, you're talking about my favorite subject, which is mindset. You know, we got to talk about our heart set, our mindset, and our soul set. But it all starts with what you think about. You know, I'm always talking about what you think about, you bring about. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share a few nuggets or to be of service in some type of way.
Well, we certainly appreciate you being on our podcast. Doni, you probably don't remember, but you invited me to be on one of your podcasts.
Did you say I probably don't remember? I remember.
I remember. It was like 3 years ago already.
Yes, and I said you all have a story to tell.
Yeah,
and that y'all need to be putting it out there. You need to be on camera, and not only do you need to be on camera, you need to be on camera with that amazing wife of yours.
Yeah,
look at you now.
I got her this time.
That's right. That's right.
She can't run from me now.
Oh,
that's
gosh.
right. But I think honestly, Robert, I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier about thoughts being things. Even though that was just a casual conversation, it planted a seed. But you all watered that seed with action. And a lot of people forget that before you take an action, you have a thought. And a lot of people, they have a thought, a dream, an idea. And instead of acting on it like you did, they just poof, let it go away. Or they start thinking negative about that thought, like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I don't have the resources to do that. I don't even know how to do that. As opposed to just going, you know what? I'm going to do that. Having the mindset that I may not know how to do it right now, but I'm going to do it, even though at the moment I may not know exactly how to do it. So, I mean, you all are a story in and of yourself of what we're talking about right now.
Speaking of that, ladies and gentlemen, I met you, Doni. Now, it was actually years ago. You probably don't really remember this.
You're questioning my memory a lot tonight.
Listen,
you know that?
It came to me like, do you remember when you first met Doni? It was at a little house in Decatur.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to purchase an investment property, and it had a bunch of trees around it. And my friend Chris Kelly, he said, you ought to call, you know Chris?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Call Doni, the tree lady.
Yep. And that's how everybody knows me. People don't even know my last name. There's like,
right. He said, Doni, the tree lady.
You
And you came over and you looked at these trees and you were just so on point. Like, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. And here, I mean, you just boom. I was like, now who was that? You were in and out. Yeah.
In and out, done.
Yeah.
And then the next time we met, you actually came to do some trees at our house, at our primary residence.
That's right.
And it was at that point that we realized that there was a greater connection.
That's right.
And you came back one day and you consulted with Melly Boo and I. I mean, we sat down at that table and you dropped some nuggets on us back then. Like you said, what's the social media tool that allows you to blast to every social media platform? I think it begins with an H.
Hootsuite.
Hootsuite, yeah. Hootsuite. You told us
something as simple as Hootsuite.
Yeah, you told us
by the way, started out, and I know it's a social media thing where you can put all your socials in there and it gets blasted out to everything. But if you think about how useful that tool is, it started off as an idea. But I didn't mean to cut you off. Finish what you were saying.
Yeah. No, we used that for a while, and now we're doing something else. I know that you either did or do. We ended up hiring VAs to help us with social media.
Yes.
All of this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, came out of ideas that Doni shared with us maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. And like she said, the idea is one thing, but the action behind it is a whole nother thing. And I want you to talk about that because I do remember reading that in your book.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, even my company, Don's Tree Service, started off as an idea. And, people negate how big an idea can become, or actually the importance of having an idea and acting on it. So for me, I started with $43 in a dream. For the people that don't know my story, I own the largest African-American tree care company in Atlanta, Georgia, and growing. We actually just expanded into Augusta, Georgia. So that's been a blessing. And it started out where I was in a situation where I was depressed, wasn't really happy with where I was. And I just went for a drive. And I grew up in the tree care industry. I left it to go into sales and marketing. And I just was just like, man, I need to do something else. What I was doing wasn't working. And I just had this idea in my mind to start a tree service. And I'll be real with you, considering I only had $43 to my name, there was this little part of me that was like, oh my gosh, I'm excited. I know I can do well with tree service. I know the industry and the things that even there's some things that I don't know, but I'll learn and I'll get better. there was another part of me that was like, girl, how you gonna start a business with $43? But I chose not to listen to that voice, you know. So going back to what you were asking me about the importance of having an idea, I think having the idea is one thing, but going back to even narrowing it down even further, having the mindset to accept the idea and act on it. Because a lot of people have ideas,
right?
But if they have the wrong mindset, they're just going to let those ideas come and go. Think about how many things you've seen out there in the marketplace, and you're like, man, I thought about something like I could have invented that.
Oh my goodness!
Almost invented that. And then you see it, you know, you're like, whoa, you know. So what I would tell people, or what my idea that I like to share with people is, you never know what can be lurking in your mind that could actually propel you to the success that you dreamed of. Because I really don't believe that God gives anyone a vision without giving them the provision. But there's a lot of work in between that. And if you start taking that first step, even though you don't know all the way, God will get on that path with you and lead you and guide you and put good people in your life that'll help you move in the right direction. He'll open up opportunities like what happened with us, you know, where we're talking and you just had an idea, you know, and you had kind of thought about some things, but wasn't really necessarily clear on it. And we get to talking. Now I'm sitting on your podcast.
Wow.
You know? So,
yeah.
That's my big thing. And some people go, well, you know, Doni, I didn't grow up thinking like that, or nobody taught me how to do this. You know, and I know people gonna go hard on Will Smith, but he said something. He goes, it may not be your fault, but it's your responsibility. Meaning you may have not been taught certain things, but you're now living your life for it. So it's your responsibility.
Right.
To fix the situation you're in. It's your responsibility. So if you wake up one morning, you're like, I don't know how to do something. That's okay. Because if you're over 18 years old, I would even say 16. If you're over 16 years old and you got a phone and you got a mouth and you can communicate, it is your responsibility to take the ideas that you have, narrow them down to a focused vision and bring that thing to life. But it starts with the mindset of understanding that you can do it. Because if you have the wrong mindset, no matter how great an idea is, you're not going to do it, you know?
Right.
I get frustrated with friends and family who have that mindset that they can't do something, or there's not enough jobs around, or you know, somebody won't let me do something.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what was on your mind when you decided as a Black female to go in the tree service business, when everybody else sitting at home talking about what they can't do.
With your $43.
With
$43.
What was on your mind?
What was really on my mind is tell you what happened. I used to be in network marketing, and the company that I was with started off with a great vision, and the company grew. And then it got to a point where some of the leadership and some of the people that were managing and building the company at the top, they started doing some unethical things. And so I knew, you ever hear people say, man, I can just feel something wasn't right. I was one of those people at a training looking around going, yeah, something ain't right in here, man. You know, y'all get ready to get shut down, you know? And so I just, you know, I went for a drive one day. I committed 6-7 years of my life to that business, to that industry. And I had learned a lot. A lot of the success that we have right now directly comes from the direct selling or the network marketing industry, or the lessons I learned there. But I was like, man, I'm gonna go for a drive because I'm depressed. I'm depressed. I didn't have a real way to make money. I'd just taken a part-time job at Quick Trip because I knew that the company that I was working with was getting ready to go out of business. Like, I knew other people run around high-fiving each other, saying they're getting ready to go to the next level. I was like, listen, this thing is getting ready to get shut down. You know, y'all ain't got to listen to me. And sure enough, it did. But what was going through my head was that I can't keep doing what I've been doing.
Right.
And my life is not working. I'm not happy. And I got to do something different. I don't want to be broke no more. I got to do something. And so I went for a ride. Like I said, I went for a drive just to kind of clear my head. And I looked out over the horizon and there were like trees everywhere. I was like, wait a minute. I love trees. I love people. I love the tree care industry. I'm gonna start a tree service. It was as simple as that. It wasn't any deep. I didn't go search my soul. I didn't make a list of 10 things that I could do. I didn't even consult with anybody about being depressed and sad. I just knew that when I had the idea to start a tree service, something resonated in me. Like, you ever have a thought or idea about something, and it just feel like you just feel the world open up to you? That's what I felt. Like, I just felt literally with no money, I had the idea, and it's like a weight lifted off of my shoulder. I hadn't even done anything yet. Just deciding, just making a decision, having the mindset to decide that I'm starting the tree service, it lifted a weight off my shoulders. And I think for a lot of people, they have a lot of anxiety. Anxiety is a really big thing right now.
Right.
One of the best things you can do to cure anxiety, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Okay. But one of the cures, or what I say, things that helps with anxiety, is to take action. A lot of times people have anxiety because they have not taken action towards their dreams. Or there's things that they need to do that they know they haven't done. And that creates a lot of anxiety. So yeah, I hope that answers your question a little bit.
Absolutely, it does. You mentioned just coming up with that idea. And we had to get our stove replaced last week. Oh my goodness, that was a fiasco. And the guys that came to deliver the new stove, they had this belt that both of them were strapped on. One was strapped on to his shoulders, and the other guy was strapped the other end of the belt onto his shoulders. And they would feed another belt under the stove and connect it to each other, and they would tighten it, and they would just stand up, and the stove would lift, and they could move around the house and get it exactly where they wanted. And I said, who invented that? And the guy told me, he said, believe it or not, it was a woman who invented this not too long ago. And of course, she's sitting pretty right now, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I said, if I just had that idea, all I need is one idea.
I got one for you. Okay, so today I was watching it was day before yesterday. I was watching a training. I follow a lot of like different not a lot, but a few influencers online, and I try to learn from their sales training. So they had these young men. They couldn't have been older than 23, 24 years old. They had just started a business and they were killing it. And guess what the business was? Cleaning out trash cans. They come to your house for a certain fee, a monthly fee, and they clean out your trash can. You know how trash cans get that weird smell? The outside trash cans. And then on Saturday, you got to get in there every few months and kind of clean it out so it doesn't have that weird smell. That's what they do. They started a business doing that, and they're doing well. They're doing bananas. And I was like,
something so simple.
So
simple. Cleaning trash cans. And here we got people sitting on the couch.
Exactly.
We'll get up and do that.
But it starts with the mindset, and if I could say anything, because my heart is for our people. I mean, I love all people, Black, white, Latino, Asian, everything. I love everybody. But one of the things I see sometimes in our community is this mindset that, I got to go along to get along, and that will get you nowhere. You go along to get along, you will not get to your dreams.
Right. And
people stay stuck because they don't believe that they can do better. They see people on TV and they go, those ain't real. I mean, that's not real.
Right.
Like today, my daughter, she was talking to somebody and, they said, well, you're a unicorn, meaning that because she's, really articulate, she's bright, she reads a lot, or she still reads a lot, but she's watched a lot of training videos. She's always working on herself. So she presents herself very well. And so somebody said to her, well, must be nice for you. This must be easy for you. You're different. And so she asked me about that. And I was like, well, you know what? You are different. I was like, start owning that. You're different because you took the information that you read in those books and actually applied them. You took the information that you saw on those videos on YouTube and actually used them. I was like, a lot of people get the same information, but because they have the wrong mindset, they don't utilize the information because the information is out there.
Right.
It is. The information is out there. So I told her to start embracing that, because sometimes people will try to use that as a reason why they can't do something, but they can. They absolutely can, but they have to make the choice. And that doesn't mean it won't be scary. That doesn't mean it's not going to be hard. But sometimes it's a lot simpler than you think if you just take the first steps.
Is that the daughter that you write about in your book?
Well, actually, I write about both of them, but which chapter are you talking about?
I read something in your book where your daughter was born at 2.5 pounds.
That's the oldest daughter, 2 pounds 5 ounces.
Wow.
That's my Kylie. That's my oldest daughter. Wow. And she's also doing really well. She's in college right now in Virginia, and every single room that she steps into, whenever she joins an organization, she winds up being the leader of that organization. And it's because of her mindset, She's not going in there trying to take over or trying to be this. She's actually a very introverted girl and very reserved and everything. But when she steps in a room, people are like, man, there's something different about you. It's mindset.
And that's
people say the same thing about you all, I'm sure.
Yeah. We wear so many hats. You have to have the right mindset to wake up every morning and do what we do.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
But what you just mentioned about you and about your daughter, I mean, you guys have overcome unsurmountable challenges just getting to where you are.
Yes, sir.
So it's something to be proud of, and it's something to be a testament for others who think, life is hard. Yeah, there are going to be challenges in life, but if you just keep pushing, there's no limit as to where you can go.
Yes. Well, I like to tell people 3 things: make a decision, take action, and don't stop. If you just do those 3 things, make a decision, take action, and don't stop. And here's one thing people go, but what if you hit a brick wall? Okay, if you hit a brick wall, you can go around it.
Go around it.
Go over it. You can go through it. That doesn't mean you have to stop. You might have to change course sometimes. Think about it. When you're on a road someplace and there's like a roadblock or there's some construction, you might have to change course, but you're still going to get to where you want to go.
Right.
And it might look different. The journey might look different from one person to another. And we have to admit that there are people in our community that are more privileged than others, but sometimes not having anything is a privilege.
I like that.
Dream bigger.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That can be an advantage because you got that fire in your belly. Think of how many kids come from affluent communities and they wind up ruining their lives. They wind up falling backwards. They wind up falling into drugs. But when you can look at your life and be like, dude, I ain't going that way because I know I worked too hard for this, and you have a different desire, a different drive. So I was like, you can either let things make you or break you. I choose to let things make me.
While you were speaking, it just literally came to, I just saw trees. And even just thinking about the trees, behind our house, trees are come in different shapes, sizes. You've got the skinny trees that sway like this, that scared him the other night, in the storm,
that's what you call them.
Yeah. You got the big oaks.
It would have been too late, Donnie. These trees were moving.
It was like 4:45 in the morning.
I don't know if y'all got the same storm we got over here in Decatur Sunday morning.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. It was crazy.
I had everybody running around the house like, get downstairs.
Yeah. Well, we actually did a lot of storm work. We did a lot of storm damage over the weekend, and we're still doing storm damage because of the storms that came through Atlanta. And I hope you don't mind, but if they do have an issue with their trees, they can call us at 770-413-TREE. That's 770-413-8733. I'm Doni, the tree lady, and the name of our company is Don's Tree Service. If service ain't in the name, it ain't me, but that's Don's Tree Service.
Yeah. So let me. I won't lose this. So
trees.
when you were saying that, how it takes, we're all created different.
Yeah.
We're all different. We come in different shapes, sizes. But the one thing we can have the same of is the mindset.
That's right.
And
That's
as long as if I'm planted next to you and you sway towards me, that's giving me the push to say, okay, if I can go this way, you can go this way.
That's right.
Or vice versa. So if we're connected, we're not necessarily doing the same thing, but we got the same foundation.
We have the same shared root system.
There you go. I love it. I love it.
Yep.
And that's another thing when it comes to mindset. You got to get around people with the right mindset. You know, if you hang around garbage people, guess what? You can have garbage thoughts. And I'm not talking about garbage because I love my garbage people. I love the people in the service industry. I love people that are the first responders and people that take care of our communities. Love them. I'm talking about a garbage mentality.
Right.
You know, you cannot go for your goals trying to hang on with nook and them. You know what I mean? You can't. Because what happens is they'll drop little poison into your cup. And you drink that poison, you just killed your dreams. You start second guessing yourself. You know, I remember one time we were talking about getting another truck, and it was because one of our other trucks was not, you know, just we repaired it. And so I was telling somebody that I'm at the time thinking they're my big cheerleader, and they were like, "You always doing something. Don't you have enough?" I was like,
"Whoa!"
Like I was like, "Where did that?" You know how somebody says something, you're like, where did that come from?
Right.
In my mind, I'm thinking I need a new truck because, you know, things are a little crazy and I wanted to get these trucks fixed so that we can continue to do better. And I was like, wow. So I now kind of know what you really think of me.
I've actually heard it. People say we work too much. We work too hard. But then they want to borrow money.
Or you don't have any work-life balance. Well, first of all, there's no such thing as work-life balance. And also, I believe you should build a life that you don't need a vacation from. Yes, I love vacation. Yes, I love spending time with family, but I love what I do also. So you can actually build a life, and it starts with mindset. Take a piece of paper out, or I love the apps that we have on these phones. And you can make notes on your phones, but there's something special about taking a piece of paper out and just writing down what you want your life to look like. And here's the funny thing. You can be in your room by yourself or in your kitchen by yourself with a piece of paper and somebody says, write out your dreams. And you're writing out your dreams and there'll be a little voice that says, oh, that's a little too much. I don't know if I could achieve that. There ain't nobody else in there.
Right.
You can dream. It doesn't hurt you to write down the dream.
Right.
But even your own hand will start second guessing. You're like, I don't know if I could write that. It's a piece of paper. Write it down. Write down what you really want. And it's okay. What if you shoot for the moon, you know, and you don't make it? You'll still be amongst the stars.
It's okay.
But you're still better than you were if you don't try.
If you never try. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. That's the hard part for a lot of people is to write it.
Write it down.
The word tells us to write the vision and make it plain. And some people they get the pen in the hand and it's like writer's block.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what they want to do.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of times people have a problem with religion. I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person, but they have a problem with religion because they aren't actually doing what the book says. Like if you actually follow what the book says, I'm not talking about, you know, this thing or that thing. I'm talking about specific instructions for building a life.
Right.
Make it plain. Write it down and make it plain.
Right. Yeah.
Be kind. Work hard.
Right. Yeah.
Be persistent. You know, have a vision.
Right. Yeah.
Like these are all success principles, but we get wrapped up in, especially in our community, we get wrapped in the
right.
I love the songs, I love the music, but I want to take the word and make it real because it is real.
It is real.
This is God telling us, this is how you make your dreams come true.
Right. Right.
Even in the beginning of a dream. So God's dream was this world, right? So you have a dream. What do? You speak it into existence.
That's it.
People are afraid to speak it.
Yeah.
Words have power. We hear that. We hear that when we're kids. Oh, words, that's so cute. Words have power. No, words really do have power. And I don't want to get too technical, but your brain has it sends out an electromagnetic signal that attracts what you want. So that's why what you think about, you bring about. If you go about something, you're like, man, that's gonna fail, man. I don't think I could succeed at that.
You just shot it down.
You just shot it down.
Yeah.
So you're always getting what you want, even though you don't think you're getting what you want. Because if you keep focusing on failing, you're going to fail.
You're going to fail.
Focus on succeeding, you're going to succeed. And even if there's an avenue that you took that looked like failure, if you stay on that avenue or you stay on that street, you'll see how that actual failure was actually a propeller to something better on your journey to success.
Right. But Doni, you said something that made me again go back to your book, that very first chapter, which is entitled Take Time to Think. And so many people who don't even take time to think. They get up in the morning and they start their routine. Wash your face, brush your teeth, take a shower, run out the house, go to work. Come home, do that night routine, go to bed, get up the next morning and do it all over again. Never take time to really think their future into existence.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And it's funny because when I wrote the book, I was thinking, what should I start with? And the thing that kept coming to my mind was the book Think and Grow Rich, right? Thoughts are things. And it hit me that people don't take time to think. They're afraid of their own think of how many people they run around with these little earbuds in all the time, or they're watching TV nonstop, or they're on Instagram nonstop. They're on Instagram and on YouTube watching people whose lives they want to emulate, but those people have a life worth emulating. You can build that too. We can build that for ourselves, but we won't build it if we don't take time to think about what we really want. Once again, going back to what you were saying, the vision. You got to have, how do you get a clear vision? We take time to think. We get that vision. So we're thinking, we get a vision, we make it plain, we write it out. And guess what happens after we write it out? We start making plans. And it sounds so simple. It's not. You know, my goal has been to 10x this company, right? And somebody asked me the other day, do you really believe you can do that? And I was like, yeah. And you know what? If you would have asked me a few years ago if I believed I could do it, I'd be like, well, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
You know, we got good people, and
one day.
I mean, you know, it'd be nice. No, absolutely. I'm sure we can 10x this company. Not only am I sure we can, we are going to 10x this company. We are 10xing this company right as we speak. You know, and I really believe that. I mean, you think about where you come from, where I come from. I'm a girl from St. Louis, Missouri, who used to have roaches in her house growing up. We lived in a 3-bedroom house with 6 people. Come on. You know what I'm saying? My dad would heat the house. Luckily, we was in the tree care industry, because he would heat the house sometime with wood because he didn't pay the gas bill. I mean, come on. You know, to live the way my kids went to the best private schools in Atlanta. You know, my kids will never see some of the things that I saw. You know, we have an amazing team of guys that go out every day and do these jobs and make it happen. And I'm watching what's even cooler is when you can start to live your dream and watch your dream help your people's dreams come true. I'm watching my guys. I'm watching my team members, guys and girls, because I have men and women that work for me. I'm watching the guys and girls, the men and women. I'm watching the men and women that work with my company. I'm watching their dreams come true.
I love it.
That's amazing. You know, when we can take trips together, when we can plan together, when we can, you know, grow our lives together, it's a beautiful thing. And then to see my daughter see that and go, you know, I like that. I want to hang on to that. And that's what we've got to start thinking about. We got to get our mindset right so we can build for the next generation. It ain't about you and I. It's about that next generation. And even if we don't have kids, we can still be an influence. A lot of times people think, well, I don't really want kids. That's okay. But you can still be an influence to somebody else's kid or just somebody else in general.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
So Doni, how do we keep that up? Like that thinking process can't be a one-time thing. Like we thought up this good idea and then that's it. But it has to become a part of your daily life, right?
Yeah.
How do we keep that up when times get tough?
Well, for me, faith is a big thing, you know, and once again, I know I'm leaning on faith a lot, but it is. And I pray, but to also give you some very tactical things, I listen to content day and night about successful people. I listen to entrepreneurs online and on YouTube, and I read books. I read about people that are where I want to be. And then when I read that they went through a hard time, I go, oh, this is part of the process. When I talk to people like yourself and you guys go tell me, wow, we're building a business and this happened and now we got to do this and this is how we pivoted. That inspires me. You know, you got to get around people. One of the things, if you're struggling and you're on that journey and you kind of get demotivated, go serve somebody, go help somebody. Sometimes just giving somebody else a little thumbs up that might be struggling will help you bring your energy up. But the other thing is just reflect back on why you're doing what you're doing and also gratitude. The other thing is if you're going through some stuff and you're building your dream and you get hit in the chest with something tough, sometimes the best way to get out of it mentally, to get out of that mental funk is to go back to gratitude. What are you grateful for? And sometimes sometimes when you're so low, you got to be grateful for stuff that you're like, okay, I can't even think of none right now. I'm grateful for my fingernails. I'm grateful that I woke up this morning.
That's it.
Okay. I'm grateful I got a vehicle to get to work. Okay. I'm grateful that I got air to breathe. Okay. Okay. I'm grateful I got problems because that means I'm alive. You know what I mean? I'm grateful I got a vision to do better than what I'm doing right now. I mean, it's a lot of this, do all of the steps that we're talking about, which is reading the books, listening to videos, writing out your goals, remembering why you're doing this. But one of the cherry on top is gratitude.
I love it.
Gratitude is the magic sauce to making dreams come true. Because why would I give you more if you're not grateful for what you already have?
Right.
Exactly.
You know, seriously, why would I? You know, at least that's what I'm thinking. That's what God would be thinking. You know, I'm definitely not God, but I'm just saying, I'm imagining the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, I call it God, is going, you're not even grateful for what I've already blessed you with.
Right.
You know, you woke up in a bed this morning depressed, you got a bed. There's people in this world that ain't even got a bed.
Right. That's right.
You know,
let alone woke up.
Yeah, exactly. So when and believe me, I still have tough days, you know, and on those tough days, I go back to why am I doing this? You know, look at how far I've come. And then when I still feel like there's some challenges there and I'm still having a hard time getting my energy up, man, I go into gratitude, what I'm grateful for. That's the big thing. What am I grateful for? And a lot of times that will be enough to turn the switch. The other thing that I don't like to talk about because I'm not there yet, but I'm on that journey, is what I put in my body. Sometimes having sad feelings and depression and having a hard time getting out of this little funk you may or may not be in. At least for me, when I'm in a funk, I'm going, what did I eat today? Sugar and processed food. And I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but I really believe that it's kind of interesting that we got a society that's hooked on sugar, processed food, and we also got a society that's got issues with depression and anxiety.
Right. Yeah.
And so
it's by design.
It's connected. When we eat better, we can think better. The stuff, I'm just gonna put this out there. The stuff we feed ourselves and our kids, the top 10% would never eat. The stuff we put in our bodies. And I don't care if you see somebody on TV eating McDonald's, they don't eat that every day. Even if they're overweight, they don't eat that every day. They do not have a brain that functions properly and eat that food every day. Oh, but did I get into trouble for saying McDonald's?
No, not on this channel. Listen, it is not a conspiracy theory. It is a known fact because there are other countries that don't even allow some of the food that we eat into their country.
Yeah,
that's right.
And now it's becoming a well-known fact that the way the FDA is set up to approve the foods that we buy in our grocery stores.
Yes.
That same food is what gets us sick, fat, sick, and almost dead. That sends us to the hospital, and then they turn around and give us prescription medication, and it becomes a never-ending cycle. And it's all under one roof: the Food and Drug Administration.
You hit the nail on the head.
Feed you the stuff that gets you sick, and then gives you the drugs to address the sickness. But it's a never-ending cycle.
Never-ending cycle. You're absolutely right. And we're the ones that unfortunately have to bear the brunt of that. Exactly. You know, and if we don't, we have to change it because nobody's going to come. I mean, there's people trying to say, hey, what you're eating is not healthy. But because it comes from this side or that side, people don't want to listen. So I say, listen to the smart people in your life that have the body, that have the lifestyle, that have the energy that you want, and eat what they eat.
Yeah.
You don't want to take it off TV. If you don't want to take it off YouTube, if you don't want to take it off Instagram, which there's a lot of people that are talking about healthy foods and what you put in your body and how you feed your soul. There's a lot of people online talking about that. But if you want just a real life person, find you somebody that you know eats healthy, has a good, clear mind, and start eating what they're eating. If you're afraid to get stuff off the internet.
I might have to have you come back next month.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Because next month is actually physical empowerment.
Oh,
so we did economic empowerment. We're doing mental empowerment. Next month, March, is physical empowerment because you need all of this to be successful.
Yes.
When we started the Abundant Way Ministries, while it is a faith-based organization, our focus is economic empowerment because it speaks to what you said. The top 1% of people don't deal with the same health issues we have.
They don't.
Because to eat right, it costs more.
It costs more.
Right? The foods that we should be eating, you won't find them in your regular grocery stores. Right?
Well, you know, I got to push back a little bit on that. I did a video about this because, you know, with me being on this weight loss journey and getting, you know, fruits and vegetables and stuff and eating nuts and legumes and stuff like that. I went to a Kroger, you know, so I could show myself eating healthier. And I got the little salad thing, you know, it's a little salad bowl, and I got an apple and I got some organic peanut butter, you know, and I got a little thing of almonds. The almonds could last me a week because I could break it into little baggies. That's my snack. You know, I got a to-go salad because at the time it was the middle of the day and I didn't want to get a whole bag of salad mix that I could take home because it would have wilted and stuff like that.
Right.
And so I showed myself being in our community,
that you can do
an underserved community, getting healthy food. Every underserved community has a Kroger, a Winn-Dixie, or a Publix. But it's what we choose to buy in those areas.
Absolutely true.
Another friend of mine, she lives in a area. Even though she doesn't financially have to, she loves her house, and she lives in a community, a more challenged community in Atlanta. And she is healthy, lean, and fit. And she buys her groceries at the local grocery store there, you know, and she goes because every grocery store has a fruit and vegetable section.
Right.
We gotta be taught to eat those things. We've got to talk to one another, and we gotta not be defensive when somebody sees you picking up Doritos and they're like, "Listen, man, why don't you just get some almonds? Right. Why don't you get some, you know, some cashews or something like that?" And people go, "I don't like the way that tastes." Well, you know,
right? Because our taste buds
haven't been taught to learn those things. Yeah. But I'm really big on nutrition right now, and I know this is a little off subject, but for my family, once again, depression and ADD are like issues, right? And I call it traits because I will not claim stuff. That's probably why I'm talking so much, but I call it traits. I control that stuff with food. How much water I drink, how much bread I don't eat because I don't eat bread anymore. Eating good, clean fruits and vegetables. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because I see it in kids. They are drugging our kids.
Exactly.
They're drugging them. And the foods, the dyes, the candy. We've got people running around with depression right now, and they don't understand. They're just like, it's just a phase I'm going through. No, you're depressed because of what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
But they don't think it has any. But here's what I don't get. And then we can go back to what you were talking about. People will say what I ate doesn't have anything to do with my depression or my anxiety or my ADD. But then they go to a doctor, which gives them a pill, which they put in their body and creates a reaction. And then they like, okay, that's okay. Food creates a reaction in your body too.
Right.
Supplements, healthy supplements can create a reaction in your body. Also, on the road to success, going back to mindset, you have a clearer mind when you put good nutrition in your body. So I know that I got on a little high horse about that, but that's one I'm starting to really focus in on, because I see that it's wrecking havoc on people with depression, anxiety, ADD, and all of that, and obesity, and it comes back to food, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not off track because it's all part of mindset. Just like you said, so we do most of our shopping at the farmer's market, the Cab Farmer's Market.
Yes, that part.
So, that part. So even our fruit, like we could go to Walmart, we can go to Kroger's, which is literally around the corner from us. But I'd much rather get my fruit from the farmer's market.
Yes.
Right. If I'll go make the trip, it's probably 20 minutes versus 2 minutes.
Yes.
I'd rather make that trip to get that apple or get that grapefruit or get that orange from there.
Yes.
But it's a mindset.
Yeah.
That has developed into a habit.
Yeah.
Now we don't even think twice. Where are we going? To the farmer's market.
To the farmer's market. Yeah.
Like you going, I'm going. Who going?
That's right. So we're going to the farmer's market. But that goes back. You're right. It is mindset.
Yeah.
Your mind has been set.
Yeah.
To do that, which
do
means you get a better result. And I bet you think clearer because of that, because of what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
And that's becoming like a mission for me. It really is, because we can talk about being entrepreneurs and we can talk about business people. We can talk about having a fancy career. But if we don't talk about this weight, and if we don't talk about our brain and how our brain is on basically dope with all this sugar, how are we ever going to achieve our? You can't think.
Yeah,
you know,
you won't have the energy that you need. And even if you do achieve some level of success, how long will you be able to enjoy it?
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. And are you going to be sick? Think about the people that are dying from strokes now and heart disease. Right. You know, you got people that, and once again, going back to what we were talking about earlier, success isn't just the money. It's health. It's spirit. It's mind, body, and spirit, and finances. Yeah. So if you got all the finances, but you got cancer, what's the point? And you can see on TV, rich people dying of cancer. Smoke back a day, ate crap food. So when I talk about the top elite, I'm not always talking about money. I'm talking about a combination of money, health, fitness, relationships. Because to me, if you're a billionaire and you've been divorced 3 times, I don't want to emulate your success when it comes to relationships. Right. I don't want that life, I want what you all have together, on the podcast. He looks at you, he be looking at you going, no.
But that's so true though, because everybody, especially this generation, this new breed that's out there, they look at and they see what they see on Instagram and what they see on TikTok and what they see on TV, and it's like, yep, that's what I want. I want that right there. But then you don't know what these people had to go through or what they're going through to even get to where they are.
Yeah.
See, everybody. That's the thing that we have to understand, is that everybody's journey is not the same. We can get to the same destination, but it's going to take different paths for us to make it to the end, to make it to where we're trying to go. You have to get in your mind. It's like, you know what? I may want that kind of level, but I don't want yours.
Preach. Exactly.
I want my own.
That's right. That's right.
And listen, we are at the top of the hour.
Okay.
So here's what I want to do. And piggybacking off of what Melly Pooh just said.
Yeah.
Doni, if we can close out with this. So she talked about wanting what somebody else has, but not understanding what they had to go through to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give some final words of encouragement? I really want to say to the women, to African American women, but I gotta take the cap off of that, because you are an inspiration to all entrepreneurs.
Thank you. Thank you.
You see what I'm saying? So can you leave some final words about and here's where I'm going with this, because when people see your success, they may say, I want what Doni Jones has, but they don't want to cut down trees. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't want to put in those hours. They don't want to deal with those employees. Yeah. They don't want to deal with the finances. They don't want to deal with that struggle. Could you give some final words of encouragement for somebody who wants what they want?
Yes.
How to get there in spite of the obstacles.
And, well, you just mentioned it, obstacles. The obstacles is the way. One of the mentors that I watch on YouTube, as you can tell, I watch a lot of YouTube. Well, I don't watch it. I actually listen to. I listen to a lot of people while I'm going about my day, while I'm driving and listening. But the obstacle is the way. There is no path to success that does not require having obstacles. The only one that you can get there without an obstacle is if you marry into it or if you inherit it. But even that has its own obstacles.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, people, another story, but if you honestly have a dream and you can accept the fact that there will be obstacles, to me, that is one step closer to making that dream come true. Because a lot of times it's almost like double dutch. Remember in double dutch when people are like, you kind of getting ready to jump in, and then you just got to jump in there and start doing some double dutch. You just got to jump in. Now, that doesn't mean you don't make an educated jump, but you also don't want to do paralysis through analysis. Get an idea, which is what we started this podcast with. Get your mindset right to follow through on that idea. And for people that don't want to go through what I went through, some of the challenges I went through is because I did not handle money right. Learn about money, learn how it works. People go, well, I don't have any money to work with. Yes, you do. If you have $5, save 10%. You got $10, save and invest 10%. If you got $100, save and invest 10%, and then 20%, and then 30%, and live on less than you earn. Live below your means until your means get to a level where you can live large, and don't be concerned about what people think.
That's right.
Really. That's right. It's so funny because we're saving up for a farm, right? So I've got horses, and I've been blessed to have horses, and my kids went to the best schools. I lived in one of the best zip codes in Atlanta. I mean, just blessed life. However, when I made the decision to save up for a farm and move my life in a different direction, I said, I want to move to a smaller house so I can save my money so I can buy a farm. Because that's my goal. I want to have a farm, have land, and all this kind of stuff. I did not care that people were like, why is she moving out the big house? Why is she moving out of a 8,000 square foot house to a smaller house? I didn't care what it looked like to other people. Now don't get me wrong. I still live in a nice house. Right. But what other people thought was the dream was like, oh my God, you live in Buckhead. Yeah, that was the dream. I lived that dream.
Right.
I went to the best school. I mean, I traveled the world. I love all of that. But now I'm focused on my farm and 10Xing my business. To focus on 10Xing my business, which allows me to get my farm, which allows me to create opportunities for my team members, which allows me to be able to sow into my community, which allow me to create, opportunities for people that want to get into the green industry. I probably could, but in my mind, for me to focus, I didn't want to be thinking about a house note. I didn't. I didn't want to be stressed about that. I said, I want to save and invest and then buy my farm. So whenever you own the path to your dream, I'm saying all of this to say, you may have to go through a part of your dream where it don't look sexy.
I love it.
You may have to go through a part of your dream where you have to drive an older car for a little while. You may have to live a part of your dream. You build a part of your dream while you may take your lunch to work, which is actually healthier for you anyway.
Right.
You may have a dream where you have to say no to certain things so that you can say yes. Sometimes you have to say no to your present so you can say yes to your future, and be willing to do that. So if you can lay out your path, going back to challenges, if you can lay out your path, make a decision, take action, and don't quit, you can make your dreams come true. And accept the fact that there are going to be challenges, and you're going to have to do some things that some people may not perceive as cool, and actually maybe things that you don't perceive as cool, but that's part of the journey.
Right.
Sometimes in order to get what you want, you have to do what you don't necessarily want to. And that's part of the journey, you know?
Cool. Well, Doni, I appreciate you. We appreciate you coming on again. This is just like when you came to our house and sat at our dining room table, and we had what was the name of that spot? Oh,
what spot?
The vegan spot.
Nourish
Medicine. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're no longer there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I miss them. I hope that somebody get to them. Like, y'all, where's the new location, please?
I know. There's a nice spot on Covington Highway called Jazzy Juice. I like them too. They got like healthy juices.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and they got like really good food. So
cool.
Check that. We ate healthy that day. We had kale salad.
That's right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Doni Jones, she walks the talk. She don't just talk it; she walks the talk. So, Doni, we want to thank you and show our appreciation.
Yes.
For jumping on this call, this podcast with us, sharing these golden nuggets with us and our audience. There will be some who watch it live and some who's going to watch the recording. But we want everybody to be blessed by what you shared with us today.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
You're opening it up to everybody, but this I am dedicating to women. This segment is dedicated to women that look like us, women that don't look like us, women that are in fields where it's male dominated, women that are trying to be entrepreneurs. I mean, I'm just gonna put that out there. We the backbone. Okay. So
we're gonna push this one out there.
Yes.
I appreciate that. But keep in mind, we need our men. You're sitting there with an amazing husband.
And
there is a message when 77% of our kids are born without a dad in the home. We gotta change our messaging.
Oh yeah.
We gotta go back. When I grew up, and I'm old, mommy and daddy were in the house. And even if daddy was a little bit of, doing a little something, he still came home. We need our men. We love our strong women, but we need our men. And I always tell people, I couldn't do what I do without the men in my life. Yes,
absolutely.
We want to have a message for women. We want our women to be strong, powerful, but you know what? We want our women to be able to curl up next to their husband and be soft and warm in the arms of a strong man.
Yes.
I don't need to be, I ain't got, no.
Yeah. I don't. They'll change it once they get them.
Ladies and gentlemen, Doni, the tree lady, Doni Jones, you can find her book on Amazon.com, From Failure to Fabulous. Go out there and get it. And Doni, if you would just tell the people, again, how they can find you.
You can find me at Don's Tree Service, DONSTREE, donstree.com. That's www.donstree.com. If you need some tree work done, you can also reach us at 770-413-8733. But most of all, hit us up on social media. I am on Instagram at The Tree Lady. That is at The Tree Lady on social media. You'll see my face pop up there. And then you can find me on Facebook also, Donnie Jones on Facebook, and Don's Tree Service of Atlanta on Facebook. So just hit us up at any of those spots. We'll be happy to connect. I want to connect. So please let me know you saw me on this show, and we might have a little something special for you if you say you saw me on this show.
Wow. All right. Yay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in. For those of you who are watching online, and for those of you who will be watching the recording, play it over and over again. Share it with your friends. Share it with your families. Share it with your enemies. They might have a change of mindset about what y'all got going on with each other.
That's real. That's real. That's real.
Yeah. So with that being said, again, listen, before we go, I am doing something special with our broadcast next week. I'm going to have my Miss Melly Boo do a sermonette to close out the month of February of mental empowerment, breaking free from strongholds, breaking free from mental strongholds. You got a week to put it together.
Oh, okay. Put me on.
I'm gonna sit to the side.
Oh my goodness.
I'm every woman.
Yeah, that's it. The music might change for next week. I might be playing that. You never know. Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week. We love you, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.